going to show you the Victory backpack sprayer and show you how to operate it. This machine is extremely useful when you're using electrostatic sprayers to get into places like where there's a lot of obstacles, a lot of nooks and crannies. For instance, a gym, a fitness center where you have all kinds of equipment, classroom where there's desks and chairs, a medical setting where there's wheelchairs. Electrostatic spraying is perfect for that type of application. Now, one of the reasons you would use this versus a smaller unit is if you have a lot of space to do and you don't want to be switching out and filling up the tank all the time. With this particular unit, you could do up to 25,000 square feet, depending on the size of the setting on the tip. This is the trigger or the gun that hooks up to the unit. This is the wrench and the nozzle that goes into it. This is has three different settings on it: 40, 80, and 110 micron size orifices. And then this is the extension that allows you a little bit further reach. Now here's the battery compartment. Turn this counterclockwise and open it up. This is a 16.8 lithium battery, a 16.8 volt lithium battery. It only goes in one way. This should provide about 4 hours of operation. You have a click right there that shows that it's set in there. And then you just close this back up and tighten it until it's finger tight. Now you want to check the charge on your battery. You have an on and off switch right here. Put it in the on position and you'll see that it's fully charged. Next, you want to hook the gun up, the hose up to the machine. You want to start with the electrical part first. You line it up so that this is facing towards the back. Push that button and you hear a click. Now it's connected. Now this piece right here, this is a permanent fitting, so there's no wrenches involved. This is simply just a quick disconnect device. It's a compression type of fitting. You hold the machine on this side because it takes a little pressure. Introduce it to the male fitting right there, push it in, and listen for the click, and make sure that this is flush right there. Now next you want to put the nozzle into the gun. Grab your wrench. There's a little slot there that goes into it like this. Push it in, and clockwise, listen for the click. Now we'll show you how to put the extension in there. To disconnect it, you push it down, turn it counterclockwise, and it comes out. You don't need a wrench to put the extension in there. You just put it in there with your hand. You can see the direction that it goes in. Then you introduce the nozzle into the end of it here. Now you have the extension. This gives you farther reach when you're spraying. Okay, so now that we've set up the unit, we're ready to introduce some chemical into it, but just a little bit about the features of the device itself and the ergonomics of it. Once you put product in here, you're going to be adding anywhere from about 15 to 20 pounds. The unit weighs about 10 pounds by itself when it's empty. It's got some very good padding throughout the unit here. You can see the padding here, up here where it's going to be at the small of your neck. So this is very comfortable. This also, and we'll show this in a little bit, this is to hold the trigger, and this also can go on your belt. So when you're not spraying, you can just put the gun right there in your belt in a holster like that. So the machine is ready to spray. We're going to mix our solution. Depending on what you're using, you may need to pre-mix it. You don't want to mix in the machine. You want to mix it in a bucket and then pour it in there. So this particular product is a two-part product. You may have a product that's RTU or ready to use. You may have a product that requires dilution. The key is that you don't want to have to do that in the reservoir, in the tank. You want to do that outside the tank and then pour it in there. So this particular product is the BioOxygen Santa Cloud. And again, we're going to use equal parts. And when you're putting this together, you want to make sure that you're only going to use or mix what you're going to use that application. So in this particular instance, we're going to do about 2,000 square feet, so we're only going to do about a half a gallon. Equal parts of A and B. Mix them together. Now remember, whenever you're mixing chemicals, you want to make sure that you're wearing the proper PPE. In this particular instance, this label dictates you should use gloves and safety glasses in case it spills. Now this particular device does have a strainer in it, but we're going to take that strainer out because our funnel also has a strainer in it, so we won't be introducing any kind of debris in there. But we take this out, put the funnel in there, and then put the product in there. Now again, it's important that you realize that you mix the proper amount of what you're going to be using. You don't want to mix too much. And we talked about this earlier. We didn't use this strainer, but our funnel does have a strainer. Now when you're spraying with an electrostatic sprayer and even a ULV fogger, these orifices are very small, so any debris that you would introduce into the tank has the potential to clog your tips. So you want to make sure that however you're introducing the chemical into the tank, it's being filtered through a very fine mesh strainer. Make sure this is tight because it needs to be pressurized. There you are. Enough.